Hey everybody over on Blistered Thumbs, the thread for posting your game collection is up, so I figured I'd make a video showing off just what I have and some of the other random bric-a-brac I've collected over the years. I have them set up in my corner here. My room is actually pretty damn small, so I have my games just set up on these two bookshelves. So let's get in here, see what I have. My games currently are not that massive of a collection, but they are fairly well organized. Let's start here. There's my NES games. I got Iron Sword with Fabio on the cover. Mega Man 6. The only Mega Man game that I actually beat. I was never a big fan of Mega Man, but I just kind of picked that one up. I'd heard good things about it. I think that was like the last game I ever got for the NES. It's not bad. I eventually managed to beat it. Maniac Mansion, classic hard adventure game. See the TV version on the Family Channel. Yeah, I don't think that's around anymore. We got Dragon Warrior, classic RPG. And after Dragon Warrior, we have Robo Warrior. This was a game that I saw this on a Game Player's Strategy Guide tape, and I just freaking loved the concept. So, for like a month, and this is like elementary school, so like there was a month when I had to be good at school the entire month, and I had to not get in any trouble. And if I did that, then I would get the Robo Warrior game. Silent Service. I used to play this one a lot at one point. For like a couple months when I was in elementary school again. Not really elementary school, I think it might have been like middle school, it doesn't matter. I really got into this game. And I don't know why. I've not liked many simulators since, but Spy vs. Spy. This is a very underrated multiplayer game. You go around, you set traps, you try to kill your opponent. It's really, really fun, especially if you get somebody that's as good as you. Here's a game that gets a lot of hate. Wall Street Kid. The concept is just weird. You play a stockbroker, and you have to invest your money in various stocks, read the newspaper to see what stocks are rising high, and put your money into them, and you have to earn enough money to save your house and your boat, and eventually you have to buy your family's castle. Otherwise they disown you. Yeah, I don't know why everybody hates that game. If you get really into it, it can actually be really, really pretty fun. But it is a weird concept for a game, I will admit. And the classic, The Adventure of Link. I actually prefer it's torn there. I actually prefer this game to The Legend of Zelda. Which not a lot of people will say. I actually prefer Adventure of Link to Legend of Zelda over the other game. I think it's a much better made game. Shadowgate. I fucking hated this game. I could never get past like the first couple of screens, because you pretty much have to just try everything just to see if anything works. And you can usually press start to get a hint, but at some point it'll just say, "Don't give up now." Yeah, it's a great fucking hint, you assholes. Ice hockey. Not much to say about that. Classic, Legend of Zelda. Just to show you that it's indeed in there. The original gold cartridge, just like the Adventure of Link cartridge. That's worth a bit of money. Another game based on the Shadowgate engine, Uninvited. This originally was developed before Shadowgate, but did not come out until later. Shadowgate was like the third in the series, but since Shadowgate sold so well, they ended up releasing the other two games, Uninvited and Deja Vu. It's a bit torn here as well. This was actually a gift from a friend, because as you can see the cover, it's pretty grotesque. Got this skeletal ghost haunting out at you. And I was friends with this family down the street. Their kid was like 5, 6 years younger than me, and the mom showed the game to me. And was like, I want you to try this game and make sure there's nothing too demonic in it. And I guess I just never gave it back to them or whatever. Classic game. This was like one of the very first NES games that I actually bought for myself. And I still have the map. I still have the map to this game somewhere. The map that came with it, which had all the places that you can go in the game, all the enemies and their hit points and what they're weak to. And that was before they had strategy guides or anything. That was before I had the internet. And the game everybody has, Duck Hunt Mario. For the longest time, I didn't even know Duck Hunt came on its own cartridge. I thought that the only way to get Duck Hunt was on these two cartridges. This 2-in-1 cartridge. Solomon's Key. Fun game, fun concept, making and destroying blocks, but I really think it's hindered by the fact that it is so brutally hard. Solstice, another game that I bought for myself that I just heard so much about. I'd heard so much about Equinox, and it looked like fun. And so I saw that Solstice was the original game in the series, so I picked this up a couple years after the NES was discontinued. And I played it. It was okay. Nothing too spectacular, but I know there's a lot of people who love this game. And finally we have Gauntlet. The original Tengen game, but in the official cartridge. Very, very fun to play this multiplayer. While these are out of the way, let's take a look at my PC games. I do not have that many PC games. Most of these I actually bought when I was working at Vivendi. I bought the StarCraft, Warcraft, and Diablo Battle Chest. This is the original Diablo Battle Chest that actually contains the original Diablo in it. The new Battle Chest doesn't have Diablo. It just has Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction, which is lame because they didn't lower the price at all. I guess Blizzard isn't too proud of the original Diablo, or maybe they want to make it available for free on the new Battle.net or something, but it sucks that you can't get Diablo in the Battle Chest anymore. StarCraft, yeah, I'm sort of a StarCraft fan. I'm not very good at it. I totally suck at it, actually. Anybody on the forums could probably kick my ass. Probably the same thing with Warcraft, but I like the art style, I like the storyline, and I am slowly playing through StarCraft. I made it through the Terran mission, so that's 1/3 done. But this also contains Brood War, so that's even more to do. Unreal Tournament, one of the very first games that I actually bought for my new PC at the recommendation of a friend. This game was fun as hell when I was playing it in the summer. Jeez, $40 back for the GameStop. Oh man, fun game, but it does get a bit repetitive. The Orange Box, everybody fucking loves this. I am no different. Half-Life 2. I had never even played Half-Life 2 until this point, and I fucking loved it. Half-Life 2 was fucking amazing. Portal on there. I almost never play Team Fortress, but this is what caused me to create a Steam account, naturally, because I had to install it in order to get these things, so. And up here we have Time Shift. I actually worked on this game. When it was reaching gold, I spent a little bit of time testing the multiplayer to make sure that the servers could handle as many players playing at once. I'm not credited in it, though, which is unfortunate. The only game I am credited on, I don't even own. I've been meaning to get a copy of it, but I've been fucking broke for the last couple of years. Indiana Jones, The Emperor's Tomb. My friend actually gave this to me as a Christmas present. We were doing a gift exchange at this party we go to, and I ended up getting this copy of it. Unfortunately, it didn't run until I upgraded my computer, so I really haven't had a chance to play it. Blizzard business card, when I took the tour of their offices. The GameCube preview CD-ROM. I like how it actually says this is not for. It says for PC CD-ROM trays only, so it has to specifically say that you don't put this in your GameCube, even though it's the size of a GameCube disc. Ah! Sega Smash Pack, Phantasy Star 2, Altered Beast, Golden Axe. A couple of these games. The only one that I'd really be interested in playing is probably Phantasy Star 2 and Columns. Maybe Vector Man. Yeah, I was never a big fan of the Sega. If you've seen my Sonic the Hedgehog video game bunker review, you'll notice that. Sonic Spinball's on here too. Reaches. This is a gift from a teacher. I was cadetting as a in the computer class in middle school, and he had this game lying around. He was like, "Hey, you want to try this game out? You can bring it back whenever you want." And I guess I never did. Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones. Yes, this is a legitimate copy, officer. Lego Creator. Oh man, I fucking loved this game when I was a kid. And I'm sure it still has its charm today, but Lego Universe Online is coming out. I have no idea what it's going to play like, but if it's anything like this... part of the reason I haven't played Minecraft is because I want to have a life. This thing ate up so many hours of my life when I was a kid, and now it means nothing. What can I do with the Lego Creator world files? Bupkis, really. Indianapolis 500. Yeah, this is a fucking floppy disk. See, back in the Stone Ages, games came on discs like this. 1989. I believe this is one of those games that had copy protection, that you had to answer a question from a book in order to play it. Unfortunately, we never had the book, so we could never get it to run. Guitar Workshop, not really a game. Lego Mindstorms, again, I was a huge freaking fan of Lego, and the Mindstorms was freaking great because you could write your own Lego computer programs and then run them in Lego. So that was pretty damn cool. You Don't Know Jack? I picked these up at a bargain bin. They were like $10 for both. Fun as hell to play at parties, as long as you're all huddled around the computer. Take a look at my DS games. I really don't have that many DS games because, yeah. But before I got that, I did manage to pick up a couple of them. Brain Age, that one came with the DS. Phantom Hourglass, I still need to finish that game. That game was fun when I started playing it. All the Legend of Zelda games have been great. And, of course, Pokemon Diamond. And then these three games were actually another gift from a friend. Part of a big collection that I got from his friend in Canada. Thank you very much for sending me these games. It was these and like 30 others. Children of Mana, Heroes of Mana, and Spyro Shadow Legacy. And inside of these, hang on. Inside of these, we have more games, because I don't have anything to put my GBA games in, so I just cram them into the DS boxes. Got Super Mario Advance, Mega Man 03. Inside of Phantom Hourglass, we have Mario Pinball Land and Golden Sun. That's actually 2 copies of Golden Sun that I have. One of them I got from that same friend in Canada. Yu-Gi-Oh! Haven't even tried playing that. Most of these games I came across because I bought my GBA secondhand. I bought it from this guy and he gave me a whole bunch of games. He gave me a whole bunch of games for it, and I bought the DS. I bought the GBA and the games for like $80, which is a really good deal because it came with like 12 games. I figured I could sell some of the games off for like $5-10 a piece. I never did. I gave a couple of them to my friend for driving me out there because I didn't drive yet. We have another Yu-Gi-Oh game, Monster Rancher Advance 2. Inside of Heroes of Mana, we have Super Dodgeball Advance, sorry. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Surprisingly good game for being a downport of a over-the-shoulder 3D racing game. 3D skateboarding game. Surprisingly good. They made it isometric, and it's really neat. and it has some of the same levels from the 3D game, so you actually get to see what the 3D levels look like from a different angle. So that's actually kind of neat. And lastly, we have Spyro here, with Metroid Fusion inside, and Mega Man Zero 2, another game I have not touched. And down here we have some other Game Boy Advance games: Advance Wars 2, Breath of Fire, Golden Sun, and Golden Sun: The Lost Age. If you're paying attention, you'll notice that I have 2 copies of Golden Sun: The Lost Age. One of them I already owned, and I originally contacted this friend because he was giving away the other copy of Golden Sun, the original, in this set of games. And I said, hey, if nobody wants it, I'll take the first Golden Sun. I have the Lost Age, but I don't have the other one. And nobody else apparently wanted the games, so he just sent me all. So he just sent me all of them. And all I had to do is pay shipping, which is like $10.50. And Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, the only game that I specifically bought for the GBA. All the other games I got as part of a set, but this one I specifically purchased for the GBA. This is the only game that I bought on its own. I have a couple of Game Boy games here. I really should have more around here, but I don't know where they are. Metroid 2. I don't care what anybody says. This is my favorite one in the series. Favorite one. Pokemon Black, as I called it. Pokemon trading card game. Pokemon Red. And Tetris Blast. Very, very underrated Tetris game. Made by the original company. So this thing has going on. This is a good game. I really should make a review of that at some point. Pokemon trading card game. This is another interesting story. I got this game when I was out of town. Actually, I had been visiting my relatives in Michigan, and I was there with my mom, and I had fallen in love with my cousin's copy of the Pokemon trading card game. Except I didn't have a Game Boy Color, so my mom bought me a Game Boy Color and the Pokemon trading card game, and I played that all the way home. Oh, I just found these sitting down in the corner. Pokemon Blue. That was the first game I bought. I got Pokemon Red later. Where's it on camera? There. I got Pokemon Red later. I played Pokemon Blue to death. But then I started playing at school, and everybody would just cheat. They would catch missing number, and they would kill me with like a level 256 Charmeleon. Not a Charizard, a Charmeleon, because they're hardcore that way, I guess. So, once people started cheating, I stopped caring about the game, because cheaters ruin everything. Which is ironic, considering one of my other favorite games for the Game Boy is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which I constantly play to death by cheating. I play through the game by warping through walls and shit, and it's great. Wario Land. Built on the Metroid 2 engine, I believe. And of course, Final Fantasy Adventure. Nothing too spectacular. Good Zelda clone with RPG elements. In here I also have Yoshi. It's an okay game. It's not spectacular, but occasionally I just really want to play it. And I'll play it for a couple hours and then stop. I actually bought it on the Virtual Console, and that's one thing that Nintendo really should be pitching about the Virtual Console, is that with old puzzle games, it'll actually save your score. The original NES games, they didn't save your score at all. They didn't have any memory backup, and they wouldn't save your high scores in puzzle games. So you would just have to write them down in like the notes section. But on the Virtual Console, it's like playing the game continuously. So it'll automatically save your score, which is great. It's a great feature. Little Mewtwo. Yeah, he's my favorite Pokemon. Fuck Lucario. Mewtwo's where it's at. Let me see if I can get this guy working. Hang on. And the cool thing about him is if you twist his tail, see if we can get it to work. Yep. If you twist his tail, his eyes light up. Put him back in his little chamber. I guess this is supposed to look like a like a breeding chamber where they kept him or whatever. These are cards from a card game prototype that I was working on. You don't want to play it. It sucks. It's not done yet. If I can get back here, I can see my Super NES stuff. Well, just first off, I have this interesting piece of ephemera. It's called a Game Mage, and I'm not sure if it still works on like something like the Retron 3, but I'm pretty sure it would still work with the Super NES. But this comes shipped with game codes in it. You can input your own, or you can also select them from the menu inside, which is neat. But it only worked for games that had been released up to that point. I forget what year this came out. Does it have a year on it? No, there's no year on it, but it's shipped from Japan. I guess my brother voided the warranty. This is originally my brother's, but I just inherited it when he moved out. Looks like it says Game Tage, doesn't it? And of course we have Super NES games. We have Final Fantasy II. I played that thing to fucking death. Eye of the Beholder. Okay game. It's based on the Dungeons and Dragons engine and concepts, but it just doesn't play that great. That's what you get when you port a PC game to the Super NES. Luffy and the Fortress of Doom. I actually found this in my closet, like, years after I forgot I owned it. I've never beaten it. Street Fighter 2. Ah, yes, the infamous Street Fighter 2. If you're a parent and you have two kids, and there's two Super Nintendo console bundles available. One is Super Mario World with 2 controllers, and the other is Street Fighter 2 with 1 controller. And you have 2 children, which one are you going to get? That's right, Street Fighter 2 with 1 controller. I don't know whether to blame my mom or blame Nintendo for making that bundle. Who the hell buys Street Fighter 2 with 1 controller? Who the hell makes a bundle of Street Fighter 2 and 1 controller? Seriously. What the hell? Kirby's Dream Land 3. Oh, fuck. It's not a terrible game. I really rather like it, but the problem is I let my friend this is actually my friend's, but I inherited it now. Seeing a pattern, I guess. I let my friend, I borrowed this from my friend, and I let him borrow another game, Kirby Superstar. It's a good game, but not as good as Kirby Superstar. I wish I still had that one. Faceball 2000. I bought this one used, as you can tell. Got this fucking sticker all over it. Back then, I just really wanted it. But, for those that know, Faceball 2000 was originally released on the Game Boy. And then a version came out for the Super NES that had multiplayer. But the Game Boy let you play 4 players at once. So it was kind of the forerunner to the original multiplayer first-person shooter. No, Halo did not invent the console first-person shooter. Faceball 2000 did. And you can play this portably. This predates Metroid Prime Hunters. Lion King. I think I borrowed this from a friend as well. Maybe I let him borrow this in exchange for Kirby Superstar. I don't know, I got 2 games out of it, screw him. Super Mario World. Everybody owns Super Mario World, but I really didn't until a while later. Quite a while later. Yes. One of my very favorite Super NES games, The Lost Vikings. I remember seeing this game in GamePro magazine years ago, and I freaking loved the concept that you'd play with all the different characters, and they had different abilities. If you haven't played Lost Vikings, check it out now. I don't know if it's on the Virtual Console. I'll check. I'll put a thing right here if it is. If not, find an emulator and play the Lost Vikings. Lost Vikings is freaking awesome. And we have Zoop, rather obscure puzzle game from the 1990s. Very strange puzzle game. Nothing quite like it has ever come out since or before. But finally, I have the coup de grace of my collection, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I paid like $60 for this thing, like 10 years after it originally came out. Maybe not 10 years, but like 5 years after it originally came out. It was fucking expensive because it was so damn popular. Yeah. And that's kind of why I have the dust cover on it. Even though these dust covers, they stopped giving these dust covers out when they realized that they didn't work. You'll also notice that at a certain point, the shape of the cartridges also change. They have this. The later cartridges. This is obviously a reissue of Super Mario World, but the later cartridges have this shape, but the older ones have this shape, where you can see where the thing goes in, and you couldn't pull this out of the system on its own. But this one, you could just yank it straight out. I don't know why they changed it. I don't think it was a matter of copy protection or anything. But yeah, that's my Super Nintendo collection. And last of the game shelf here, I have, oh horrors, Virtual Boy games. Sad story, the Virtual Boy was the very first console that I paid for myself. Yeah. Sad story, but I really wanted it to succeed. So I pretty much bought every game I came across, whether it was good or bad. Although a couple of them I had no desire to play. I really wanted to get a copy of Tellero Boxer, but I could never find it. Yeah, I got Panic Bomber here, really good puzzle game. But the biggest flaw of it is there's only the one-player adventure mode. There's no like marathon mode where you just keep playing until you lose. No, you can only play versus the computer. You can't even play versus another player. So yeah, that's fucking stupid. Red Alarm, I never really liked Red Alarm. I'll be honest. I just thought it was really, really hard and rather boring. But Wario Land, on the other hand, Wario Land is freaking awesome. Easily the best game on the system. And it was originally called Wario Cruise. And you can actually see that in the code number. VUE, Virtual, VWC, Virtual Wario Cruise. Just like Galactic Pinball is VGP, Virtual Boy Galactic Pinball. Mario's Tennis, VMT. Yeah, I'll stop doing that now. And Mario's Tennis, this came with the Virtual Boy. Fun game. I'd play this game for hours and hours. Maybe that's why I can't see it today. Mario Clash, another game that I really did not like that much. I guess it's really also pretty brutally hard. And it just goes on and on and on. So many levels, and there's no way to save, no password system either. So you just have to keep playing the fucking thing, or you give up. So that's all for my collection of video games up here. And I guess I'll cut the video here, and in the next one I will show you my modern game collection.